Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we're going to try a polar orbit of Kerbin. I've made one very minor tweak to this. I separated these guys out. They're actually placed individually on the rocket instead of separately. It means, really all it means is that when I take a gravity scan, I'm only going to take one gravity scan instead of 4 at a time. That's just for my sanity and how many times I have to click discard data. Anyways, I have no idea if this will take more power or what, but we want to incline ourselves this way during our gravity turns instead of this way. I have no idea if this requires more energy or not. My rocket science is not that strong. But regardless, SAS on, launching in 3, 2, 1, liftoff. You know, it's nothing ventured, nothing gained. Fine controls on. So when I hit, it's going to be slightly counterintuitive, but when I hit, it's basically going to have to do with which keys I hit to make these orbital corrections as we go through our process here. So first gravity turn will begin near the end of the stage here. It's going to be a very small one, and that should be tilting, yes, the way I expected it to. Not the way I wanted it to, expected it to on the marker. In fact, it's exactly the opposite way, but I should have known that. Okay. So we've tilted about 5 degrees towards the north. Right, of course, this is north. Silly me. I should really be looking at it. No, that's right. It's the exact same tilt visually on our screen, but it just requires different keyboard commands to accomplish it, that's all. Alright, second gravity turn will be done after these boosters finish firing. We'll give 75% to the solid, to the liquid booster. Good timing, we're just coming out of the lower atmosphere. So let's open up and eject and fire. Oop, right. Gotta remember which controls to use. Come on, a little more. And lock. Come on. Alright, RCS, come on, you. How are we doing? We are doing not bad. It's not a perfect polar, but that doesn't really matter for our purposes here. Alright, we don't want to use too much fuel for this part. Come on. All that really matters is that we are going in more or less the right direction. Yeah, less fuel is better, because we want the apoapsis to rise, but we don't want to consume too much of our fuel in the process. We're shooting for not too high. We're shooting for, again, about 100,000. Alright, so let's give it a bit more tilt here. Like so. Whoa, careful, not too much. Actually, that might be okay. SAS off. SAS on. Okay, let's give it a little more gas here. Not doing too badly here. It's a little less stable than my last attempt, but we're still rising. We'll give it a little more gas, because we want to make sure we get our apoapsis up, high enough. We do want to get into an orbital level, which we're, not to mention an orbital level high enough for a gravioli scanner. We've kind of wasted our time here. 64. I hope I didn't tip it too far towards making an orbit here. Well, it's still rising. Okay, 70, 71. Pull this up. 4. So it's somewhere between the 80s and 90s is where it actually hits the point. And we are accelerating nice and fast here, so we need to tip ourselves even a little. No, whoa, careful, Gord. Bronchi. I hit the wrong key there. So we need to burn towards there. No. You stay nice and low towards the horizon. Apoapsis is high enough, we can tip it down even a little more. Come on, orbit. Less gas. Less is more. When you're in orbit, less is more. We shouldn't need that much fuel to push it the rest of the way into orbit. Alright. Okay, if we cut it and burn closer to the apoapsis, that should give us much more benefit for the fuel rather than continuing to push that up. We will... Alright, so we need to push ourselves much closer to the horizon here, in fact almost below the horizon. Alright, like so. Because as we come up, it's going to be touch and go to get an orbit with this little fuel. I'm not 100% positive I'm going to pull it off, but we'll try. We'll try. It's worth a shot. I mean, you know, worst comes to worst, I crash into the ground and have to adjust the rocket's design a bit more. Not the end of the world for that, for any stretch. 47 seconds to apoapsis. Let's give it a little fuel here. There we go. That's giving us a little more benefit for our effort. Apoapsis is still rising, unfortunately, but not too much. Okay, below the horizon, man. Below the horizon. Because that'll, yeah, there we go. Stable apoapsis. But what should be an increasing... Alright. We're not dropping our apoapsis at all, but we should be raising our periapsis. Interesting. Is this not going to be enough fuel to do it for a polar orbit? That's kind of interesting, actually. Let's get the RCS into the game, because you never know. If they can deorbit me, they can certainly push me into orbit. There we go. We're almost there, guys. We've passed the apoapsis, but we haven't lost yet. Come on. There, periapsis coming out of the ground. Cut the engines. 80. I think we're going to circularize this. 990. Shooting for 104. You know what? Good enough. 95 to 105. That's only not even 97. Not bad, if I do say so myself. That, my friends, is a polar orbit. For all intents and purposes. Or at least it's an orbit that takes me up over the poles, which means the possibility of getting gravity scans that I have not gotten before. Because we will go over the Arctic pole and the Antarctic, which is awesome. That actually went better than I expected. I've still got a little liquid fuel left. The question is, it's going to be touch and go to have enough monopropellant to get me out of orbit. Well, you know what? You can't win them all. Can't win them all. So let's just accelerate time here for a minute. About 5x should do it. We should be coming up over the tundra. You can see the sort of blacker, well, maybe you can't, but there's sort of a blacker, darker looking terrain down there now. No, still over highlands. A little further north. Grasslands. Man, the grasslands of Kerbin go very far north. Maybe it's this... You know, I can't tell. The lighting's really hard to tell. Nothing new so far. And here comes the polar... Still just grasslands below. Maybe there's no true tundra. Aha! Gravity scan above Kerbin's tundra. The sensor finds subtle changes in the gravity field of Kerbin. The science team will want to see these readings. We have tundra scan. The long-awaited tundra scanning. Oh, we look at that. I do have an ablative shield on here. No parachutes, though. That's actually probably a lot of weight I could have removed from this. It might have made getting into orbit just a little easier. Good to know. So I have a little under half a tank of monopropellant. Might be doable. Really might be doable. But a successful flight, if I do say so myself. Nice change of pace. Let's see. The sensor detects variances under the surface of the ice. Is there a landmass under that ice? Maybe. Well, that may answer some fascinating questions about the natural history of Kerbin. But, needless to say, gravity scans for the win. And polar orbital awesomeness. This little beastie has served us well. It's a shame it doesn't quite have the juice to get a Kerbin into orbit. Low orbit or low orbital swing, but not into a true orbit, which is, you know, unfortunate. It'd be nice if we could. So Tundra. I wonder if we're going to go over anything else interesting in the process. Let's turn off the RCS just to make sure we don't waste anything. And that's 2 for 2. I have at least enough juice for one more transmission, maybe 2. But if I do 2, I probably won't have enough electricity left to actually run the RCS. At least that's my theory. I have no idea if it takes power to run the RCS, to be honest. So we'll want to burn at the apoapsis for our eventual deorbit attempt, but we'll leave that for a little further around the orbit. Alright, let's go a little further, and I'm going to pause here for a second because I just heard my wife come home. 1 second here. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Here we go. Just had to talk to my wife about a couple of things. She just got home from work. She's got a long and busy day. Works the evening shift, so gets home quite late. Alright, we're back over grasslands. We've done grasslands to death. Let's see where we're going next. Anything interesting looking in our path? Can't tell. Nothing stands out as different in the light. But we'll accelerate ourselves a bit further south. See if anything looks significantly different here. Just another batch of grasslands there. And now we're coming back out over the ocean. Should just be another beach biome. Alright. And we're over the ocean, which is... Oh! Oh, did I not manage to save my shore scan? Well, I'm transmitting that because it says it had scientific value. Did I wonder if I accidentally lost it because of the revert to launch. Oh, I may have... Yeah, okay, I may have screwed up on that previous one. I may have accidentally lost my sensor, my data. Alright, well, that might be the last scan of this flight then, but this thing easily can pretty much get into any orbit I want. I suppose if I wanted to hit some areas I haven't been, which I don't know if there are any. I really should do some research on that. I'd have to put it into a somewhat eccentric orbit. Okay, so 4 batteries will give me 3 solid gravioli detector scans, and that is all I'm going to get out of that. Okay. All I can do now is maybe ask the question, are we going to go over any biomes I haven't scanned before? More importantly, is the South Pole interesting at all? That's really all I want to know. Is the South Pole any more interesting than the North Pole? Completely Anything there? No, just another... just grasslands. Lots and lots of grasslands. Kerbin's a big planet. Planets are large. Okay, nothing really stands out visually. I mean, the biomes are marginally variable. Rolling hills, super high mountains. Alright, let's get over that polar ice cap here and see what we get. Nothing. And the southern ice cap. What does it have to say? Nothing. I'm definitely over it now. Just the exact same results as the North Pole. Okay, well now we know. Now what are we going to go over on the way back up? Ocean, 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 nothing. Nothing of value. So, let's plan our deorbit burn, because that's what we do. We like to keep our space tidy. And we don't have to put it down too low. It just has to be down into the actual atmosphere, and eventually gravity braking will do the job. So, okay. So, RCS on. Very gently put us over the maneuver marker. There it is. Okay, come on. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Oh my God. Lock it down. It's also just a case of having to be close enough to the marker to do the job. The word of the day, close enough. Now we just need to wait 5 minutes to our burn time, which we're just coming up to. We're losing a little control here. We're not perfectly on target, but hopefully that's no big deal. Alright, we are going to now accelerate time a bit and prepare for our attempt at a second successful deorbit of a now useless satellite. Tidier than the Russians. I think Sputnik had to deorbit on its own rather than with any help. Assuming it's not still up there. I can't remember if it's still up there or not. Alright, and full throttle to the engines. Ooh. That did it. That little tiny bit of gas I had left should be enough to finish the job. And if we're not sure, we can come in a little steeper with... I hope I'm not raising it. That would be silly, wouldn't it? Alright. Well, be that as it may, let's accelerate, kill the gas, and watch it crash into the atmosphere. Yeah. Oh, 11 kilometers. That's not bad at all. Well, Gravioli Mark 1.5, Gravioli Orbiter Mark 1.5. That's 2 successful orbits in 2 episodes. And I think just about all the major biomes scanned now, which really kind of leaves me pretty content. I think the next job will be to try to repeat this feat with a Kerbin, and probably using the next tier engines. I haven't purchased the mainsails yet, or not mainsails, what's the next tier? There's another engine level, a bigger gas tank, and a few other useful things at the next tier, which may make getting into orbit easier. But I think we actually might start thinking about sending a probe to the moon. Because, yeah, it's either a robot rover to the moon or Kerbal basically repeating these experiments but with Kerbals in orbit instead. Either way, the end result will be copious amounts of science, which will be very useful, because I'm going to actually have to decide on the next tier of hardware pretty carefully. So where do you think we're going to hit? Are we going to hit the ice cap? That would be cool. We'll deorbit and crash ourselves into the pole. That'd be very funny. All right. It's nice to know that it takes, at least with a probe with an empty fuel tank and a probe of this size, it takes very little fuel to actually deorbit your hardware. Oh, this thing is going to burn up so spectacularly. What's going on? Or not. It could just be very boring. It's actually kind of hitting at the right angle, isn't it? Oh, there goes the liquid fuel tank. Oh, that was funny. That liquid fuel engine's still going. Oh, there goes the next. That's the... There goes the engine. We've still got the... oh, there goes some more... It's kind of fun to watch these things burn up, isn't it? At least I think it is. God, it'd be funny if this thing... Oh! Poof, psst. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Alright, let's abort flight. No, can't do that. F3. Can't end flight there. Let's see what happens if we just go to the Space Center. Because the flight has ended. It ended itself. And if I revert, it's almost a functional undo. Okay, first thing to note, our good old buggy friend is back, or still there, which is unfortunate. So if you excuse me, hold on. Oh, well, that button usually doesn't work. But none of these work, so I'll be right back. Hey there everyone, one last thing before we retire for this episode. Just wanted to show you 119 science, which means our Gravioli scans indeed did get saved. And I'm leaning towards heavy rocketry, but I'm going to do a little thinking on that before I jump into any unfortunate decisions. Jet technology just doesn't appeal to me quite yet, although the docking port's cool. The strut connectors would be really nice. That's probably second on the list. Oh, that's a seismometer. That'll be really useful for our first moon mission, our first moon landing. What else do we have? Tricouplers. Tricouplers are useful. In this, we have aerodynamics. We have jet air intakes, a whole bunch of more effective winglets and nose cones. Here we have more effective flight control devices, a reaction wheel. What if we make this thing really big, really heavy, and spin it really fast and attach it to the ship? Science resulted. Kind of a scary thought. Yeah, so RCS related stuff. Low power engine. Better communication system, and lights, big flashlights. Not going to invest in this yet. That's way out there because that's a better better command pods. Not on the list right now. And this is EVA related stuff, among other things. So probably heavy rocketry, but that decision I will make at a later time, probably in the next episode. All right. Hope you guys all enjoyed the episode. I will see you next time.